Am I recording? Yes, I am. All right, since yesterday's video, I was recording with the other camera on my phone, which reverses everything, and it was a little disconcerting or confusing to a few of you. I am now recording with the front-facing camera on my phone, so that yes, I am driving, not in England, in the United States. All right. I haven't done the news prep today that I normally do. I read at least a couple of articles for the latest updates, but you know what? Let me roll up this window. A little noisy, windy out there. So I'm just going to talk off the top of my head about a few things. To my Turkish Azeri friends, and there are Turks, for example, there's one guy who watches, I don't know how many videos he watches, but it's the guy that, it's RT, the Repentant Turk. So when I say to my Turk and Azeri friends, I'm only referring to those who are opposed to me. So I maybe I should just say to my detractors. To those detractors who think I'm just one-sided on this and only, because I'm siding with Armenia and only reading news favorable to Armenia. Propaganda. I assume everybody listening to this understands what propaganda is. And both sides will be guilty of propaganda, but it's not proportional. Let's say that. You can cherry pick, right? You can go and find negative news on anyone out there easily, right? You can find defamatory news articles, or you can even slant something that's not defamatory and easily turn it. And so that's what propaganda does. It'll take partial truth. It'll take truths and frame them, right? It'll change the framing and spin things negatively. And so since everybody is guilty, right? We're all guilty. And in a religious sense, we are all sinners, right? We're all done wrong. Anybody who says they have never sinned or never done anything wrong is lying, right? And so just saying that is doing something wrong, right? Just the fact of saying I've never done anything wrong is self-refuting, right? It's a circular, or it's a self-refuting statement. I have never lied is in itself a lie. And so it's easier for some people to spin and lie. But it's far more difficult to maintain those lies. There's an expression, I don't remember the first time I heard it, so I don't know who to attribute it to, but liars have to have a good memory. I'm kind of butchering how it goes, but if you're lying, you have to have a good memory, which means because you're making up a story, right? You're creating, you're fabricating, you're falsifying, and there's no documentation, right? Those who tell the truth don't have to have good memories. All you have to do is refer to the facts, right? If you're observing facts, you don't have to have a good memory. You could even forget the facts and go, oh, what was that? And look it up and reference it. But if you're lying, it's impossible to keep your story straight, because inevitably you're going to be contradicting not just the facts, but yourself. You're going to be contradicting yourself. And so I really don't know if anybody is watching this at all, I'm just putting this out there that if you are watching this as one of my detractors, I've got to come up with some kind of clickbaity title to get anybody, to get more of you to watch this. I'm not saying I will, but search your heart. All right? Look inside your heart and determine for yourself your motivation. Right? Are you just here to attack? Which, if that's why you're here, that's honesty, right? You got to be honest with yourself, and if that's your motivation, here to fight with my loyal defenders in the comment section. If that's why you're here, if that's what gets your juices flowing, you're judging yourself, right? You're judging yourself. If you have a genuine dog in this fight, right? Let's say an Armenian bomb killed your niece, right? That I would understand more. If you are related to somebody that, an innocent bystander was killed in your family, I would understand that far more than just the Armenians are evil, the Armenians are the bad guys, the Armenians are dogs, right? That's pure evil. Right? That is... I'm going to pull over here and finish this video. First of all, my friends, thank you for watching this and bearing through with me. But I did want to just talk to the few that are still watching that are have animosity and hostility toward what I'm doing here. Like, for some reason you're here watching this and you just want to, maybe you are paid, all right? Maybe you just are a troll. And if you're a troll, then I don't think you've even watched this far. So maybe there's that one person that I'm talking to that's still watching this. Search your heart and turn from lies, right? What's the point of believing lies? That you can know the truth. And I repeat this, and maybe I don't repeat it enough, but it's important to look at more than one source. If you're just believing the Azeri news, right, or the Turkish news or whatever, or if you're just, for example, I'll refer to American politics. If you're just watching CNN, you're getting a very skewed perspective on things. The same way as if maybe you're just watching Fox. I think you get a broader selection from Fox, though it's clearly biased to one side. I don't know about lately that they've hired people from the other side of the aisle to work at Fox, and so I don't know. The point is, Talat Pasha, the architect of the Armenian genocide, understood the power of media, of communicating ideas. He knew that his job before he became the Minister of the Interior in the Ottoman Empire, before he became the Grand Vizier of the Ottoman Empire, he was telegraph operator in a day when that was modern technology. I mean, telephones were invented, but in that part of the world, telegraph was the largest network of communication throughout the Ottoman Empire. You can send a wire to the other side of the empire in seconds, and people will start obeying your orders. He knew that he had the power at his fingertips to slaughter, to greenlight the butchery and massacre of innocent people for a political agenda. And he could take something true, like, oh, we've discovered a cache of weapons, or here's a case, and this is from my research, and this is a nugget. This is kind of a gift for those of you who've lasted this long into this video, this particular video. In my research in the archives in London, 2 summers ago. Prior to World War I breaking out in Erzincan is the pronunciation, the home of Sogolmun Talerian, the place where his family lived and where his family was massacred during the genocide. Well, while he was there, or it might have been while he was there or just after he left, I think it was 1913, may have been 1914. He left Erzincan in 1913. But there was an explosion. Some Armenians were making bombs in their basement, and three men were killed. Like they mishandled their equipment or whatever. I found this record in the archives, that there was so wait, these are underground bomb makers, Armenians making bombs, and that I didn't find any records of that being, well, I didn't look further into it, but I'm sure that was used as evidence, that the Armenians are up to something and we need to suppress them, right? And certainly there were and are Armenians who are gearing up or are more inclined to be militant, and with good reason, because of the history. But the fact that there are those who, it was against the law for Armenians to own weapons. For Armenians to own guns in the Ottoman Empire, it was illegal. It was illegal to own guns. And even after the genocide started, the Armenians that were in the Ottoman military, their guns were taken away from them. And what happens then? Then you're at a disadvantage. You have no way to defend yourself. Guns are not evil. Guns are not good. Guns are instrumental, depending on whose hands they're in. And that's the point of the Second Amendment in the United States. The right to bear arms is to be able to defend yourself against a lethal attack. So, Talat understood the power of propaganda. And a couple decades later, Goebbels and Hitler. Goebbels was, Talat was both Goebbels and Hitler combined into one. I could make that argument because he understood the power of propaganda, of using communication. The most powerful office in the government was not the military office, the war office, the Navy office. It's the telegraph office in his day. Today, we have so much information coming at us that then he could send one wire and it's the only communication that gets through, and so he had total control over his message. Today, those same techniques are used, even though we have access to the internet, but some countries will close down access to the West. To, like, China is in total control of their social media, their internet, and I assume Azerbaijan and some of these other nations don't let outside. They do their best to suppress information from the outside. That's propaganda. That's control. It's mind control, essentially. Propaganda is mind control. It's social engineering. It's convincing people of a narrative to manipulate them for, I guess you could manipulate people for good purposes, but we haven't seen evidence of that. Right? Why do you want to lie to people? Lying is evidence itself that you have a nefarious intent. All right. Boy, did I babble. I'm just going to post this. I don't expect to get a whole bunch of views, but I just wanted to get this off my chest.